I had a great discussion with one of my business friends this morning. I love to have these conversations on a freaking daily basis. And what I came to the conclusion of was that Think and Grow Rich, the book that was written by Napoleon Hill approximately 100 years ago, is basically all summed up into one sentence. If you're not going to watch the rest of the video, I don't care. It's just this one sentence. Make yourself valuable to rich people. Make yourself valuable to rich people. Now, I'm going to explain this paragraph or this sentence in detail throughout this video, so I hope you continue and stay along for the journey. So let's get right into it and explain why I think that. Well, Think and Grow Rich is basically there to help you to understand that it's not only hard work that will take you to where you want to go. You got to work hard on the right things. Now, what are the right things? The right things are the things that rich people find valuable. Why? Because rich people actually are the ones that have the money. And we live by the golden rule, which is, according to Robert Kiyosaki, the ones that have the gold make the rules. So the ones that have the gold also basically choose what is valuable and what is not. And if we try to do our own thing, or we try to work hard with this thing, or we have our own projects that we're tinkering with, or we're just going in our own direction in a way that rich people don't really find valuable, or in a way that they can utilize it in order for them to progress to where they want to go, or where they want society to go, or whatever else, then money is not going to be funneled in your direction. So the simple key is utility. What is your utility to people that have the gold? And obviously we're not talking about gold, but you know what I'm saying. What is your utility? What I've found is a rare attribute of people is the ability to work hard. The ability to actually put in massive amounts of work on a continual basis, and being obsessive and never stopping, never quitting, and being consistent throughout one's life and throughout specific periods of time in order to complete a project. The vast majority of people don't qualify for that attribute. And so as a result, they are ignored by rich people. Rich people want to create win-win situations. So whether you're an employee or you're someone who comes with a business idea to the rich person, then the rich person will try to analyze whatever is suggested or whatever is in front of him to see if that's going to help his cause. And if it's not going to help his cause, he's going to continue to ignore it. In other words, not provide it attention, not provide it funding, not provide it with capital for there to be a completion of the project. He's going to give nothing. So as a result, instead of having that one rich person help you out and take things to the next level, you now have to go to the next rich person to figure out if you can actually work with that person. And then you go to the next and to the next and to the next. Well, to be honest, most people don't do that. They're just stuck working a job that they don't like, not trying to be extraordinary, not trying to do something special, not trying to utilize their time properly. So in many ways, they're stealing away from their own potential, but also stealing away from the employer. The vast majority of employees are doing a bad job. And when people do a bad job, it's very difficult for an employer to figure out if this effort that this person is putting in or not putting in is sufficient to pay for the salary that we're giving this person on a monthly basis. And also, politicians have made it really difficult in a lot of countries to fire people, which makes people, rich people, more hesitant to hire people, right? So it makes it more difficult for people that want an opportunity to actually get an opportunity, because rich people, or employers in general, are very careful with employing people because it might be a negative venture. I'm just explaining what's in the Think and Grow Rich book. You can read it, but you have to understand that this is the only equation you have to solve if you want to yourself get rich. This is it. There's nothing else. Do you understand how the rich think? Do you understand how an employer thinks? Do you understand how to create a win-win situation for these people so that you can participate in a deal that creates value for society at large? Do you think in terms of solving systems for 10 people, or systems for 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 people? If you think extremely big and in a way that rich people will appreciate and understand and desire to collaborate or fund or participate, even as customers, you're right on track to actually becoming very rich in abundance yourself. Most people don't do that. But if you can be that one person out of 1,000 or out of 10,000 or out of 100,000 people, out of everyone around you, if you think huge and you think obsessively and you put in a massive amount of work ethic, in other words, you actually learn a lot of things so that when rich people meet you, they actually learn something from you. Like, you gotta understand that rich people that are actually putting in continuous effort to grow and to become, even if they're 100 years old, 90 years old, 80 years old, the richest people on the planet actually are still learning, growing, becoming, and are like, they haven't explored the entire universe yet. They're very curious people. A lot of people hate the rich. It's a very bad thing to hate the rich because they're the ones that are going to give you the opportunity to become rich. You hate the rich, you will hate money. And if you hate money, it's not going to come your way. If you love the rich and understand, and we're talking, obviously, they're good rich and they're bad rich, but just like there's good poor people, there's also bad poor people. And it's pretty much what I found, and I might be wrong in my assessment, but what I've discovered, it's like approximately 1 to 5% of people, whether rich, middle class, or poor, are just downright extremely ignorant about how life works and about how things work and about how people work and about how money works. And so as a result are extremely miserable and not enjoying life, but might have a lot of money, might have middle class money, or might be poor. And so they're, in a sense, what people in general would call evil. I always think about it from an ignorance perspective because forgive them, Father, if they don't know what they do, right? Because that's what evil is. It's just pure ignorance. And so you've got 90 to 95 to 99% of people being good, honest people that are trying their best. That's how it is with the rich as well, bro. They're just normal people like you and I that go to the bathroom every single day, right? And that have struggles, that have issues with their relationships, that have health problems as well. But they just mastered or inherited a lot of money. But the thing is, in order for you to get rich, you have to have some of those people. And I suggest that you work with people that are actually putting in the work themselves, because that's going to not only give you money to actually drive the, whatever project you are moving forward and doing and working on, but you're also going to benefit, which is way more important. You're going to benefit from their learning, their experience, all of the things that they've learned through their decades of their lives is going to be given to you because you're working on something that they want to have happen. This is Think and Grow Rich in one paragraph, man. If you understand all of this, you get it. And if you get it, then you'll begin to prioritize your days a little bit differently to make sure that you are actually helping the rich to do what they want to get done. And you have to have a very specific client avatar of who that rich person is and what that rich person wants to do. And then you need to pitch him in a way that is people skilled and effectivizes his time and in a way that doesn't bother him, right? Tricky situation, but you can get it done. And you know how to get to that person? It's probably not the person you think that you wanted help from, right? There are exceptions to the rule, like, for example, the Edison and Barnes story in Think and Grow Rich. Fantastic story, by the way. But that's an exception to the rule. The vast majority of the time, you will find a rich person that you didn't know you were looking for, and he didn't know that you existed out there. And he's been looking for you for a long period of time because of who you are, your skill sets, what you've learned, and what you want to put into production. Rich people usually don't have a lot of time because they don't want to risk a lot of their capital. They don't want to be put in a situation where they lose a lot of money because they're very good with their money, right? They've managed to make it, they've managed to keep it, and now they want to grow it. And this is where you come in. And as long as you help them to never lose money, then you're helping them to grow their stash, which is not necessarily the thing that they want in the first place. Like, if I was a multi-billionaire, my job would still not be done. Now, people might think that, oh my gosh, you're freaking, stingy because you want more than $1 billion. I don't care about the $1 billion. And to be honest, I don't even, yes, cool who I'm becoming in the process, but that's not the end all. The end all is creating harmony amongst a global population of 10 billion people. How do you create harmony on the planet? Can we do that? How do you create truth? How do you make it so that everyone understands how the world works so that they can be happy? Because if I create happiness and joy and bliss for 10 billion people, that's in the end what matters the most, right? Yes, I'll become an amazing person in the process of trying to solve that equation. But in the end, what I care about the most is joy, bliss, and happiness for everyone, because then I'll be, then I'll have that too. Now you understand how I think. And you need to connect with people that have those types of goals, that think like you, and that are going in that direction. Whether they've got money or not, at least, if they don't, everyone is rich to some extent, okay? But you gotta understand that in order for you to become monetary rich, you have to tap into those that already have the monetary abundance, right? If you want to progress on your journey and just, be able to be safe and secure, you probably don't need the riches of the rich, right? But you could actually do with the riches of those that have experience and create a team of 10 to 20 people, employees, right? Of guys that can help you with sales, with marketing, with delivery, and with operations. That's all you kind of need for your business, right? And at that moment in time, you might not be rich, but at least you're free. And if you're free, you can do a lot of great things as well. But if you're filled with the love of God, if you're filled with the love of the universe, you actually want to go out there and serve the billions of people that are out there and find the most effective ways to do so. This is how Hormozi thinks. From what I understand, from when I watch his videos, he understands that entrepreneurs is the key to solving all of the world problems. I love that type of thinking. That's why I'm doing the same thing. I want entrepreneurs to solve all of the world problems. And it's rather simple and straightforward when you think about it, because entrepreneurship is it produces solutions where people didn't think solutions existed. Because entrepreneurs are trying to find win-win situations, collaborations with other people for solving the everyday person's problems. And then that money comes from that situation, and as a result, they can buy the things that they want, but they can also continuously expand because their brand is bigger. Their monetary capacity is bigger, so they can continue to achieve the things that they want to achieve. Anyway, going back again to what I was saying about Think and Grow Rich, yes, you got all these fancy chapters with sex transmutation and, the secret about, the mastermind room and all that stuff. Who cares, man? Like, the sex transmutation stuff, I'll tell you right now what that chapter really was about. It's truly only about, and you could say SR, right? Seed retention, whatever. But it's truly only about getting rich people to trust you. I've come to the point where I'm like, if I see someone who has sexual, addictions and issues and problems when it comes to that area of life, and he's just spreading his seed to all of these wild oats, right? Then I'm not really that excited about working with that person, because I can't trust them, right? And it's the same thing that's how the rich think as well. And that's what the chapter is for, right? So if you practice self-restraint in sexual matters, then rich people can actually trust you. Oh, you actually know how to discipline yourself in that area of life? That's impressive. That's actually really impressive, because that's what I did in order for me to actually get the riches that I wanted, right? This is how the rich think. he looks like me when I was 20 years old, when I was 30 years old. Man, he has the exact same story. I wonder how he will end up. Maybe I can participate and help him on his journey. What are you working on, son? Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's create maybe perhaps a win-win situation if you've got something good. Oh, I can see you're not yet ready. Okay, well, how about you just apply for a position here and work yourself up, and then we can see if we can do something together at a later standpoint, right? This is how it works. And the thing is, rich people can't talk to hundreds upon thousands of people. They can't talk to 10 people a day, right? They're just trying to make a few good decisions in their business every day. And their most important decisions that are being made in their daily lives, they're only trying to find one person, right? If I could find that one person that actually could solve this problem, my business would 10x, in the next couple of years. That's how they think. Billionaires don't think in monetary terms eventually. They really don't care about the extra billions. Obviously, they want to, it's cool. It's status to be able to be a top 10 billionaire. But like, who do you know who's on the top 20 list after the first 5? Right? No one cares. No one knows, right? So it's like, oh, that's a fancy billionaire. Who gives a rat's ass? When you have that much money, money doesn't matter anymore. You begin to think about other bigger things, right? Like making sure the human family continues to exist, right? I hope that you truly understand the aspect of Think and Grow Rich, and that is just very, very simple aspect to it, and it's just find a way to get the rich people of this planet what they want, but make sure that you work with the rich that actually have the same value system that you do. And if you do that, you'll get rich. Who would have thought? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.